Welcome to the Ultimate Squad Builder. So last week we looked at the all under 25 team, and I included, I think, 2 players in that team outside of some cornerbacks that were just filling the gaps that were 25, and that led to a little bit of confusion. That was my fault. It was the all under 25 team. There's 1,000,001 amazing 25-year-old players. This time I'm going to explain specifically, this is the all over 30 team. But again, for 1 or 2 positions, I may have someone who is 30, but that is because either they're significantly better than who else was there over 30, or it just was one more player I needed to fill in a gap. But it is in design the over 30 team. That is what pretty much every single player on this list will be, bar a few. And we start, of course, with the quarterback. The choices for the quarterbacks were insane. Pretty much all of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, barring a few, are over 30. You've got your Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, all the rest I'm not saying, but our quarterback is going to be somebody else. Drew Brees is who I'm rolling with, and now there's plenty of discussion who's the best quarterback, blah, blah, blah. I want Drew Brees in this team representing the over 30s at 37 years old. One of the oldest quarterbacks in the league, but still pretty much every single year seems to lead them in some sort of statistical category. Whether it's passing yards, which he's led 6 times, passing touchdowns, which he's done 4 times, he's always there. And he does have the highest career completion percentage in NFL history. Now obviously that could suddenly tank, but at 66.4% completion percentage, that's the highest out of anybody ever, and he's still playing, and he keeps getting overlooked. He hasn't been named All-Pro or even second-team All-Pro since 2009, which is ridiculous because he's led the league in passing yards 4 times since then and twice touchdowns. And of course, he also has the record for the most consecutive games with a touchdown pass with 54. The highest completion percentage in a season ever with 71.2. Drew Brees is a legend, and it's about time everybody starts noticing that. It's not that he's underrated in any way. People know how good he is. People just don't quite know how good he is. At running back, we have the man who's just gone onto IR. Well, I say just gone, that was a week ago. But Adrian Peterson, 31 years old. I don't need to really mention everything he's done in his career, but I think 2012 just offers the perfect snapshot of the kind of player that Adrian Peterson is. Of course, that year he went over 2,000 yards rushing. He was voted the NFL MVP, the Offensive Player of the Year, and the Comeback Player of the Year. There's not many, if any, running backs you would say are better than Peterson anyway, but there's definitely nobody over 30 better than Peterson. At fullback, we have Marcel Reese, and I actually made this list before he was released and is now a free agent. Very interested to see where he ends up, but Marcel Reese, literally one of the best fullbacks in the league. Definitely the best fullback over 30, although there is a little bit of competition there, to be fair. But I'd take Marcel Reese pretty much over most anyone. He's been to 4 Pro Bowls in a row since 2012. Can't wait to see who picks him up, and I'm sure he'll be used well wherever he goes. Next up are the wide receivers, and I'm going to say 3 guys that obviously could make this team very easily, could even be better than some of the other guys I mentioned, but I'm not going to put in. Jordy Nelson, Steve Smith, Julian Edelman, all of those are 30 or older, but my 3 are a little bit different. So we start with Brandon Marshall, 32 years old, came into the league in the 2006 NFL Draft in the 4th round, has been on 4 different teams, has been to 6 Pro Bowls, first team All-Pro in 2012, second team All-Pro in 2015. The reason I left out the other guys is because I wanted Vincent Jackson at the number 2 spot, a guy I think that has been underrated pretty much his entire career. Played with the Chargers since 2005, then went to the Buccaneers in 2012, has been to 3 Pro Bowls, currently has 525 receptions, 8,900 receiving yards, and 56 touchdowns. Very, very good player, and he's 33 years old and still doing it at a high level. Then in the slot at the wide receiver 3 position, Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald, one of the greatest of all time, came into the league in 2004 as the 3rd overall pick. 9-time Pro Bowl selection, weirdly enough only a 1-time All-Pro selection, over 1,000 receptions, 13,500 receiving yards, 101 receiving touchdowns. This guy is as clutch as it gets. We saw it late last season, we see it again this season. Even if the Cardinals aren't doing as well this season at this point as they did do, Larry Fitzgerald is and will be a legend. no doubt that he's getting into the Hall of Fame pretty much as soon as his name comes up. And the fact that at the age of 33, or 32 last year, he's reinvented himself as a slot specialist and absolutely thrived there, over 1,000 yards receiving, is incredible. There's only one guy you think when you think tight ends over 30, and it's Jason Witten. Now, you could also have Greg Olsen or Delaney Walker, but I'm rolling with Witten, the absolute legend at the position. 34 years old, 10 Pro Bowls, 2 times first team All-Pro, 2 times second team All-Pro, 1,000 catches, 11,000 receiving yards, the Dallas Cowboys all-time career leader in receptions. Then at left tackle, Joe Thomas, 31 years old, and absolutely incredible. He came into the league in 2007 as the 3rd overall pick, and he hasn't missed a Pro Bowl since. He's also missed as many games as he's missed Pro Bowls, and that's 0. A left tackle, a lineman in the NFL, has missed no games since 2007. 6 times first team All-Pros, 2 times second team All-Pro. The only offensive lineman in NFL history to be selected to 9 consecutive Pro Bowls to start his career. Not a single game missed. That is insane. Then at left guard we have Josh Sitton, now of the Bears, formerly of the Packers. 3-time Pro Bowl selection, 3-time second team All-Pro selection. Hasn't missed all that many games in his career, exactly 30 years old. Then a guy who I think flies under the radar a little bit as one of the best centers in the league, Nick Mangold. 7-time Pro Bowl selection, 2 times first team All-Pro, second team All-Pro as well 1 time. He's been one of the better centers in the league for a very long time, came into the league in 2006 as a first round pick and has missed about 5 games since then. At right guard, the single best offensive lineman in the NFL by many people's opinions and maybe even mine, Marshall Yanda. 5 Pro Bowls, 2 first team All-Pros, 2 second team All-Pros, a Super Bowl champion with the Ravens of course, just an incredibly good player. Right tackle was a harder position to find guys for that were as good as maybe the rest of them. Sebastian Fulmer though is not just a guy who we're picking for the sake of having someone, he is a very good right tackle, 32 years old. Is currently injured, however. His value as a right tackle was actually shown last year where he had to move over to left tackle and did a perfectly good job of it. Pretty much no drop in how well he played on the left side compared to how well he plays on the right side. So on to the defense, and we start with the defensive line, and again like last week, so we're going with a mix of a 3-4-4-3 because it's about the players in the positions, not the schemes. And at left end, Calais Campbell. Now, this is a guy that is 30 years old, has been around since 2008, 448 total tackles, 48.5 sacks, but at 6'8", 300 pounds, he also has 36 passes defensed, obviously getting his hand up at the line of scrimmage, but also 2 interceptions. Now just remember, when we move on to the next players, Calais Campbell, 6'8", 300 pounds, a defensive end. Impressive that he has 2 interceptions. Now we move on to the right end. Here we have a 4-3 end in Cliff Averill. Extremely good player for the Ravens. Wasn't bad with the Detroit Lions either. However, hasn't really been given any praise in terms of Pro Bowls or All-Pro selections or anything like that. But he's got 258 tackles, 62.5 quarterback sacks, 24 forced fumbles, and a defensive touchdown as well. Very good player, came into the league in 2008, like Calais Campbell. Did make a couple of all-rookie teams, but that was pretty much it for honours given to him. And then we have at defensive tackle, Vince Wilfork. And now remember what I said about Calais Campbell at his size. Impressive, he's got 2 interceptions. Vince Wilfork, 6'2", 325 pounds. He's now 34 years old. 3 career interceptions, 538 tackles, 16 quarterback sacks. He's been in the league since 2004, a first round pick by the Patriots, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, 5-time Pro Bowl selection. And that's all well and nice for Vince Wilfork. Wow, 3 interceptions. Haloti Nyata, 6'4", 345 pounds, the 12th overall pick in the 2006 NFL Draft. Super Bowl champion, 5-time Pro Bowl selection, 5 interceptions, 6 forced fumbles, 28 sacks, and 469 tackles. That is a big man going above and beyond what is expected of him at his position. For a while there was probably the single best player in his position when he was with the Ravens. A 2-time first team All-Pro selection, 3-time second team All-Pro selection, all within the same 5-year span. He's now 32 years old and still going. A left outside linebacker, and isn't it great to say outside linebacker for this guy, Clay Matthews of the Packers, of course. He too is exactly 30 years old, 6 Pro Bowls, Super Bowl champion, first team All-Pro, 2-time second team All-Pro, NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2010. So then at the first middle linebacker spot, Derek Johnson, 33 years old. And yes, that's that same 33-year-old who last week got a pick 6. 4 defensive touchdowns in his career, 70 passes defended, 14 interceptions, 22 forced fumbles, 27.5 sacks, 1,000 total tackles. Jarrell Freeman at 30 years old took one of the more unconventional ways to the NFL. Undrafted in 2008, went to the Saskatchewan Roughriders between 2009 and 2011, signed by the Colts, then now at the Chicago Bears. So he's been in the league since 2012, and as of the end of last season, 478 tackles, 12 sacks, 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 8 forced fumbles, and 16 pass deflections. Now, he doesn't have any honors to his name in the NFL, but he was a CFL All-Star and a CFL West All-Star, and we all know how hard it is to get that well known about honor. You want honors? This guy's got them. Right outside linebacker Terrell Suggs, 33 years old, and now there are a bunch of right outside linebackers I could have taken. You've got Suggs, you've got DeMarcus Ware, Tamba Ali, Sean Lee, Thomas Davis, Julius Peppers, a bunch more guys as well. But to me, Terrell Suggs stands out as the best among them. Super Bowl champion, 6 times to the Pro Bowl, 1-time first team All-Pro, 1-time second team All-Pro, AP NFL Defensive Player of the Year, AFC Defensive Player of the Year, NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, Pro Football Writers Association Defensive Player of the Year, Baltimore Ravens all-time career sack leader, 100 sacks club, 7 interceptions, 27 forced fumbles, 109.5 total sacks, tackles, 736. Onto the cornerbacks, and this time I specifically avoided anybody that was 30, so all these players are over 30. There's a bunch more good players that are exactly 30 years old, but for the sake of keeping it more interesting, I avoided them. At the number 1 spot, Brent Grimes, who again, like Jarrell Freeman, but maybe not quite as crazy as Jarrell Freeman, also had a slightly interesting route to the NFL. Undrafted in 2006, played for the Atlanta Falcons for 1 year, then went and played for the Hamburg Sea Devils in 2007, then went back to the Atlanta Falcons, to the Miami Dolphins, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's now been a 4-time Pro Bowl selection, second team All-Pro in 2014, first team All-Pro by PFF in 2013, and sure, he's got 26 interceptions, 2 defensive touchdowns, 427 tackles from the cornerback position. Brent Grimes, if I didn't mention it already, is 33 years old, 5'10", and will go up against the biggest receiver you've got and do a very good job at it. At the number 2 spot, 32-year-old Jonathan Joseph, first round selection in 2006, 5 defensive touchdowns, 26 interceptions, 155 passes defensed, 565 total tackles. And then at the number 3 spot, the guy we're putting in the slot, Adam Jones, Pac-Man Jones, the 6th overall selection in the 2005 NFL Draft, made his first Pro Bowl last year in 2015, was a first team All-Pro in 2014, also made the All-Rookie team in 2005, 420 tackles, 15 interceptions, 6 forced fumbles, and a total touchdown count of 5 as a return specialist as well. At free safety, you have Eric Weddle, 31 years old, a 3-time Pro Bowl selection, 2-time first team All-Pro, 3-time second team All-Pro, NFL interceptions leader in 2011, and has been a big part of that reborn Baltimore Ravens defense this year. The Chargers cut him loose and he's already making them sorry. At strong safety, literally the only good player that was there was Mike Adams. Strong safety is not a position played by very many old players. Mike Adams is 35 years old and did go to the Pro Bowl last year in 2015, also went in 2014. For some reason, Madden thinks that deserves a rating of 70. Now, he's been around a while, undrafted in 2004, but in his career has got 704 tackles, 6 sacks, 65 pass deflections, 23 interceptions, 9 forced fumbles, and 2 defensive touchdowns, which is not bad going whatsoever. The technical worst player on this team is not as bad as Madden makes him seem. So onto the special teams, and at special teams at punter we have Brett Kern, who is exactly 30 years old. He was a second team All-Pro selection last year, and now for the hard stats, 45.5 yard punt average, 219 punts downed inside the 20. Then we have Stephen Gostkowski at kicker, 4-time Pro Bowl selection, 2-time first team All-Pro, second team All-Pro, 1-time, 5-time NFL season scoring leader, the NFL record for most consecutive extra points made, which is still an ongoing record, 463 right now from 2006. And continuing, NFL record for most consecutive extra points made, including the playoffs, which came to an end last year with 523. Now, there's plenty of older kickers. Stephen Gostkowski is 32 and is arguably the best in the league right now. Of course, that's still a discussion some people are willing to have, but I'm going to go with Stephen Gostkowski, 32 years old, excellent player. For the kick returners, I think as long as this guy's in the league, he will make this list regardless of what it is. Devin Hester, the absolute greatest of all time, literally kick returning. And he's still back at it again this year. With the Baltimore Ravens this year, has only returned 4, but 3 of those have gone for over 20 yards and 1 of those has gone for over 40. He has 10,000 career return yards, 20 return touchdowns, which is good for the single best in NFL history. 14 punt return touchdowns, which is the best in NFL history, and 4 punt return touchdowns in a season, which is tied for the best in NFL history. Devin Hester is the best in NFL history. For the head coach, let's just go with Mike Tomlin. Obviously, all head coaches are over 30 years old. Mike Tomlin's 44 years old. Let's just say that's the coach's equivalent of over 30, although it's not. 60 is probably the coach's equivalent of over 30. And for the long snapper, again, we can't have the guy we want. Really unfair that they're not in Ultimate Team. If you're going to have a long snapper position, why not include the long snappers? Zach Ertz here is representing his teammate John Dorenbos at long snapper, 36 years old, a 2-time Pro Bowl selection, also a magician, and he's played 191 games, which is a serious achievement for a long snapper. Not that many guys stick around for that long, but he has. And as a final thing, obviously, as I like to do, let's just look at these stats here. 84 team overall, 85 offense, 83 defense, and if you want to buy a team of over 30-year-olds, it'll cost you 1.16 million coins on PlayStation 4.